I'm Deborah Birnbaum with Gold Derby. My pleasure to be with you tonight. What do you say we bring her out? Kristen Stewart, writer, director, producer, welcome. Thanks. So, featured directorial debut. Did you set the bar high enough for yourself?
No. No, it's not high at all. It's actually just towards the right.
Yeah. I figure like you'll get up there, you'll move it again. Can we go get it? Yeah. Okay. All right. So what made you choose this? I mean, as your directorial debut, what made you choose this as your project? You could have, obviously, lots to choose from. What was it about this that sparked it for you?
It was like all of the gaps in between. It was just there was something about the structure of the memoir that lent itself to fucking dreams and like kind of fixating on certain images, knowing that someone else who may have read the book would have found different ones and different sort of emotional circuitry in order to connect those things. And in reading certain books, you can just like completely find yourself within it. And so I thought, if I could find my own circuitry and then open up a different portal towards like multiplicity, that would be like the only reason to adopt something literary that you really loved, is to make something like that had openings, have more openings, versus having like some sort of like perfect faithful depiction of something. Because the faithful way of doing this would be to like fucking crack it open and be like, come in. Yeah.
So where did you even start? How do you so you read the book, you fell in love with it. What was your next step from there?
I reached out to my agent and I was like, could you hook me up? Could you like reach out to this person? I feel like we should know each other. I did it super early and I hadn't even finished reading the book yet. I was like halfway through and just went like, I'm positive I can't be the only person that wants to make this thing. I'm sure maybe, I guess I would love to know if other people like wanted to as well, but I felt like I was just like fighting tooth and nail to just, I would have done any, like whatever parameters existed, I would have just like barreled through them to get close to this thing. And luckily I didn't have Lydia's defenses were not up. For some reason she liked me. And we knew each other just by, I think the way that I responded to the book, I was just like, please don't let someone put this into terms that are, cinematic. I mean, like, please don't put this into like a sort of thing that you could sell. Because for sure, this is gonna be like a tough sell. And I've been like going on and on and on about this, but like, there was this thing where, because we could sort of see each other and help each other exist, it had nothing to do with the fact that I hadn't made a movie. It had everything to do with the fact that she was like, I think she saw that her portal opened mine up. This is getting too conceptual. But I was like, let me make your fucking movie. And she was like, okay. And I was like way adamant, way too early, but it did work over an 8-year period, and here the fuck we are. A few things. Thanks for coming to see this movie. Jesus Christ, we're in Los Angeles.
Did you always know that you were going to write it yourself?
I was like open to a collaboration that never really existed, because it's like if something really comes from it, like I wanted to make this movie like I was reading it out loud. You know when you read a book and you're like, I want to be able to do this with all my friends. Mm-hmm. So rare. In fact, like kind of never. And so even though I had never written a script before and I was an actor for a really long time, I've been gearing up to like create images that I could put myself inside of without my body being inside of that image for so long. And then I read this book that, like I've been saying, kind of opened up certain scenarios that I could find myself in. It had to just be, it's so difficult to actually convince people to have patience and faith in watching you figure out how to say what you want to say. And the experience of reading the book is watching someone kind of excavate this personal sort of tone of what their voice is. And even though it's an adaptation, it really needed to kind of come from one place. And so I never knew that I could like write a movie, but the movie just made itself. And writing is miserable. It's just a hell. It's just a fucking hellfire. But luckily, like I rely so firmly on process. Like it's such a cliche to be like, you write a movie, you shoot a movie, it rewrites itself. You edit a movie, it rewrites itself. That implies that you have like 3 stages of writing a thing. Mm-hmm. Every 3 seconds, the kite just goes. And it's like you have your instincts to go on, and like, luckily nobody got in my fucking way. And because they didn't give a shit. Like, no one, not because they were like, I think we could do it better. No one got in my way because they were like, what the fuck are you doing? So there was no version of me writing it with anyone other than my collaborators, which are Imogen Poots, Corey C. Waters, fucking Dylan Meyer, Maggie McLean. Like, we made this movie over 8 years. So as much as writing was essential, like as like a diving board, every 3 seconds, every minute little breath, the movie just flings itself in a different direction. And we landed here, but it started, yeah, well, it's a long, do you understand? I don't.
You obviously made something. But it's so impressive because, you know, writing is its own thing, directing is its own thing, producing is its own thing. That's a lot to take on.
Yeah.
I see that. I see that. And doing it, you know, for your first feature is pretty incredible.
You imagine if I like got hired to make some other person's movie.
Right.
No way. Yeah, like I've worked for a lot of people that have been sort of like called to task. No, the task is like fully self-generated, even though it was through this other woman's story. No, like couldn't have done it without these people, but also couldn't have done it without like just being like, you know.
Yes.
I did it all myself. No, I didn't.
No, of course it's a team effort. I'm just saying, like, you know, a first feature could have been, you know, this small little biopic, and instead you made this incredibly visual feast that's very personal and very visceral. I'm giving you props here.
Thank you.
Okay. You've obviously spent a lot of time on set. You've seen a lot of directors at work. Who were the directors that inspired you? Who did you absorb from and learn from?
Everyone. I mean, there have been like a couple of people in particular that have kind of shown me that the sort of innermost layers of an experience are so much more interesting than the things that you can articulate. And like the reason I want to be somebody who sets someone on a path towards discovering their own, you know, like the reasons that they want to be there is because like I've never been directed by someone who could tell me exactly how to feel. It's definitely a congruent kind of contagious experience, and I think particularly this sounds, you know, the auteurs that I've worked with, the people from Europe that are men that are very good at what they do, and to be honest, it is true, but like it's because they were allowed to do it, and so it's really hard to trust yourself and hard to be somebody that goes, you should also trust yourself. Usually it's people that have been placed in positions of, you know, it's like Paula Lorraine and Olivia Assayas have kind of introduced me to like kind of other dimensional ways of telling story that are not hyper specific, but then somehow reach fucking everyone. So those guys, yeah.
And on the flip side, were there experiences you had where you're like, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do it this way?
Sure. Yes, 100 million.
Yeah. But whatever. Okay. Talk about casting Imogen. Why was she the right person for the part?
I wish she was here. She's Amy is like you know, she had to play a writer, she had to play 17 to 40 near. And I think she has like the type of integrity, like the sort of power of suggestion. If she tells you that she understands, even in a sort of remote way, what it feels like to be 17, even if you know that she might not look it, it just doesn't matter. And she also plays like a writer and a teacher, and it's so hard to metabolize like that much information and personalize it, especially with like, you know, like I tried to tell the story in ways that made it specific and also open to other people's experiences, not being alienated. And I think that her performance took that sort of intention and just furthered it into, she's smart enough to play a writer. How many fucking actors? Like, she's smart enough to play somebody who can insinuate kind of everything, but still make it personal. I just don't know too many people that can do that. And for some reason, she kind of, it's not about looking like Lydia, but she had this kind of like, I guess, we both found ourselves at a point in our lives where we wanted to make a film about us. And say we never made a movie and we just met. We were like ready to look at each other and be like, dude, I'm all ears. Fucking lay it out, you know? And I think all of these things, I don't know who else there was. It was just her, like, and fucking she's like the greatest actor, like, I can't believe, I look, like, you guys just watched the movie and I just ate a bunch of fucking tacos and whatever. Like,
Antonio's.
Yeah.
See, right?
I'm so flabbergasted by what she could do and the time frame that she did it based on the shit that was given to her and everything that she brought, her entire life that she brought to this, like, somehow she just became this like sort of x-ray of herself and all of us, and I don't know, I've never really seen that. Like, she fucks me up. I love her so much. Yeah.
It's such a powerful performance. What was your process like on set working with her? Did you do a lot of rehearsals? Was it a lot of improv? What was the day on set like?
So there are so many, there aren't very many scenes in the movie. So it's kind of like hard to prepare for. There are some long speeches. Who knows what winds up in the film? We were like, we're overshooting. Everything needs to feel like disconnected and then sort of like stitched back together. And so she had to work so much harder. She did so much more work than like what you guys, than what the movie actually like reveals. But I think that in between those revelations, you understand like the backbreaking kind of like carrying that she does of the entire story. Like, if she didn't tell you the story, if she wasn't able to hold it and live every moment and articulate all of the in-betweens, then the little like, you know, fucking tips of the icebergs that poked through, they would be like nonsensical. She kept that shit together. She, like, you know, and obviously, like, it does have everything to do with the way you shoot something and the way you edit it, but she just had to do so much more than what you see. We shot like 5 movies, you see one of them. It feels like you're missing so much, but then somehow that she's a whole person. So I got lucky because of how great she is and how sprawling the source material was and how willing everyone was to discover their own version of it. And then we were like, let's try and cut this shit. And so it was just like shred, and then you let the most poignant moments kind of like buoy themselves into the flotation devices that keep the story working. And if I hadn't had Imogen, she's such an intelligent performer, it just wouldn't have been something that I could have put together. I know it.
And then how did you build the world around her? I mean, obviously her performance is so central, but you've got such a great cast, Thora. How did you decide who was going to populate the world?
I got so lucky. We have like the coolest actors. Thora is somebody that I just project all of my childhood sort of aspirational. I look up to her so much, and I've missed her for a long time. And she's lived in a certain period of, different periods of time that I've experienced as a slightly younger person than her that has made me be like, and it's not just her, it's like Imi as well, and me, like, what hurt you? And it's like, well, it just, there's a projection of kind of like trespass that I see on her. And then this like heroic, like fucking come with me thing. So she was the big sis. Like I was just like, honestly, when we thought of that, I was like on the floor. And she was like, I was lucky enough for her to be willing and able. And then Jim Belushi is somebody also that I like project tons of come hold my hand, like make light of things that I take too seriously, and then I am not mad at you for doing that. You know what I mean? Like he has this thing that like he has like big brother papa energy that isn't demeaning, and that is so fucking rare. And he's such a good actor. And I will say, if we're going to talk about anything, the way that he prepared for his role was so erudite and astute and well researched that it wasn't just like someone that felt things. It came from like knowing who Kesey was, understanding what the story was trying to say, finishing sentences for me that I probably didn't fully find. But like the fact that somebody came onto the movie and said, fuck a metaphor, it was just a drop, it was just a rock that fell. Like, I didn't write that. It was just a fucking brother that like came in and like held her up and like, so the cast like shit, like, I mean, Kim Gordon like being fucking mommy as fuck. I was like, I was just, we got so lucky because there were other people that were supposed to come play the parts and then they didn't do it, and then ultimately like everyone that was in with us was so much more in than I've seen other people be in, and I've like worked on a lot of movies. They were fucking elbows in, jukes up for you. Like it was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
That's incredible. I know it took you 8 years to put this together. What was the hardest part of all of that process? Making it, financing it, getting a distributor, all of the above?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like, I guess just like, until something stands up and says like, I have a name, you're constantly vouching for an idea that doesn't exist. And so you're like going like, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, to so many different people, like not just your crew and the people that finance the movie, but then like, even just yourself when you're trying to finish something, only when it stands up and goes like, I've declared something. It took like a lot of years to write it, a lot of years to finance it. Once we actually started making it, it was like this like 2-year like Punisher sesh, like just fucking, but it feels so good to be pummeled, because when you pull something out of the middle of that, yeah, like we ran into the sunset too often. It was like anytime we thought like, oh, we're good, we were just like, boom. So now I'm like, shit, there's a poster. Hold on. You guys saw the movie. That's sick. Yeah. Hardest part, I don't know. The whole thing. Like, bad answer. Sorry.
Can you look back and say that you learned something from the experience of it?
In general.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Yeah.
But one specific.
Okay. One thing.
One thing.
What did I learn? God, I wish I had some actors up here with me. I mean, I guess like, it's not so crazy to have a feeling and then be like, that thing is whole. Like whether or not someone can bottle it up into like a, you know, like sort of forever potion that is easy to fucking hedge your bet on is so nothing to do with whether or not that the thing that came out of you like has a smell. And like everyone's gonna smell it. Do you know what I mean? Like whether or not, like I would say, like I would say fucking, dude, the fact that I allowed for so long to be like, oh yeah, this is like a psychotic, stupid idea and all these disconnected pictures make no sense. I'm like, suck a dick. That's what I learned. I guess, you know.
Well, critics are getting it. I think we were saying 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I think Jacob lowered us down to 93. No, I know. How many people named Jacob do you trust, though? You know what I mean? No, but I was like super shocked. I thought for sure we would come back from like a sort of European festival circuit back to the United States of America into the homeland where they don't understand. But no, we got lucky, dude. Fucking gunning it. Yeah.
What does that mean to you? Do you have that kind of reception from critics?
Dude, that we're like totally not alone and I'm not crazy. Like it's not, it was, by the way, like the most universal shit here. I would say I've never been like kowtowing or sort of like doing anything for the commodification thing, you know, like to be able to sit in a theater and like, and no one like, you know, this theater's feeling pretty full and everyone could have gone to pee and like just gotten into their cars and left and like, the skill in which we do our shit and the ways that we put our sort of self-expectation into little compartmentalized places in ourselves, like where it's like, okay, so this is for me and this is for you and this is for them. It's totally sick for those things to start to become like concentric. And I was raised definitely in the 90s and early 2000s to be like, no, they're so separate. They're fucking not. You are so easily finding your narrow passages opening up into large, gaping, fucking just thoroughfares of connection. And so, like, you know, it's hard to get stuff financed, but like, there are so many ways to sort of reach toward each other that like, kind of just even things that you can think to not let yourself stop having those conversations, or to just sort of like be like, fuck it, I'll make a movie on my iPhone and put it on the fucking internet. If that's the way, then that's the, you know. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, we all know. Have you gained confidence in yourself as a filmmaker?
I've been doing this since I was, dude, Imogen directed this movie. No, like this like bullshit idea that like one person, of course, like it comes from a certain very particular source, but I've been doing this since I was 9 years old. And I couldn't have done it without the people that I said. And that's not like a platitude. That's not like something that you say in order to be like, I'm so grateful. And I defer to my, like, you know, someone just has to have like an idea and then treat people really well and see who comes, you know, see who comes to join you. That's what filmmaking is. Of course, like I believe in following something pointed, but I would be so dull without the actors and that makes it sound too specific, without the fucking family that joins you to like be like, yeah, dude, me fucking too. So yes, of course, like I believe in that process. Like, do I believe in myself as a director? Fuck yeah, but also I believe in that process like no other.
Yeah. Have you heard from Lydia? What does she think of the film?
She hasn't seen the movie yet, and you know, she's like a forest animal, and she would understand if she was here. I wish she was here. She hasn't seen the movie, and she like doesn't shake your hand. She sort of goes like this, but she's touchy, and she's everything that this whole thing came from. And what's weird is like, she's the most powerful person. It is like, you can't even be around her without going, like, I really want to find out what I want. And that's like, there are certain like catalyst kind of like, you know, she provides oxygen to smoky fires. Like there's just like, and that's, her whole book is just like such a huge, massive invitation. But she's like a freak, fucking weirdo, and hasn't seen the movie yet because she's like, you know, up in the Pacific Northwest being herself. That sounds nice.
When you were adapting the book, what was the most important thing that you wanted to keep from it? What was, you know, was there certain moments that you were just like, I have to keep this, I can't, you know, obviously things are going to have to go, but what was the thing that was most intrinsic to hold on to?
There were striking images that were tent poles for the whole reason for this movie to sort of be. But for me, the entire thing was you have to hold on to the kind of transience of time, where it was like, the only way that this would work would be to kind of have experiences that you could break apart as your own memories and not feel like you were being so reverential that you were telling someone else's story and sort of negating your own. And so, like, you know, the best thing is when someone is telling a story and you just can't wait to be like, oh fuck, yeah, me too. So, like, I wanted the whole movie to feel like that instead of being like, let me tell you something. And so, I know that you asked me like pretty specifically like what needed to be in the movie. It needed to have its own kind of clumsy body that then stood up really tall and told you some stuff about what it's like to have a body just in the last saving grace, like 20 minutes. But the whole thing just felt like it was kind of figuring out how to walk. Because if the movie became like pedantic or prescriptive or like something that tried to figure out what the fuck it was saying before it said it, it wouldn't have given you, where it wouldn't have represented the faith that the book gave me to figure out what I was saying while I was saying it. And so I just wanted it to be clumsy and then not ashamed and incredibly self-assured just in the last second. You know what I mean? Like, because that's like what the book kind of told me, like that could be a movie. Yeah.
It very much does. So what's on your reading list now? What's next for you?
Oh shit. What am I reading or what's next?
Well, both, because I feel like it's books that inspire you, but maybe it's two separate things.
It's difficult to read stuff and not be like, what is the shape of this film? But we would be so fucked if we didn't have like all of these other ideas to kind of float on and understand why we are who we are and where we come from. I can't tell you. And I'm like, ugh. There's like some stuff. I would say I want to make something buoyant. I made something over an 8-year period. I want to make something that is literally like kind of screaming to be alive and quick. Like, and it's not just a reaction to having something feel laden. Every kind of laden idea I think will like work itself into the buoyancy of my next thing. And I have like 5 things I want to do, but there's one thing that needs to like kind of like pop off. It's like you do something that takes so long and then you just want to like barrel through something. But that's like kind of the whole nature of why I want to make the thing. I've told you nothing. There's a
lot of words.
Yeah, you want the title?
I want the title.
No.
Would you act in something that you directed?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's funny. This is a long Q&A. Thank you guys for chilling.
I swear I'm ending it. I swear. I'm going to let everyone go home.
Let me tell you. Yeah, for sure.
I'm writing notes on my monitor.
No. I suddenly was like, Jesus, I've been fucking talking for a while. Okay. You're the best. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for making me
lost without you. I think I get asked constantly, like, would you want to? Oh, thank God you weren't. Of course you weren't in it. Of course. I mean, you didn't. It's not about you, right? I'm like, well, yeah, but what if it was? No, like, what if I did want to be in it? Would that be like a problem?
Yeah.
It's just that I wasn't right for the part. Like, I just wasn't. Like, it wasn't the thing. But I would love to I had to like put on a straitjacket when I made this movie. I was dying. I was like, oh, get in there. Also, me and Imogen like fully in this movie together. If you ever like look at a close up and she doesn't have a scene partner, it's because I'm like, we're like doing a scene together. And I would kill to be in the pictures that I made. There's no distinction. I'm in all the pictures I made. Imogen is in all the, even though she didn't, conceptualize them, she embodied them. There's such a fucking tiny line between the reason I want to direct and the reason I've acted my whole life. And that's why I'm like, it's not like this like huge jump. I'm just like, oh, dude, like literally, finally.
We can't wait. I will let everyone go home.
No criticism. You fucking killed this, and Q&As are hard.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful play. Let's see what's next. Whatever it's called. Thank you. All right. Thanks everyone
for coming, you guys. It's so nice.
Yeah.